Hey, Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Thanks for coming out and meeting us today.
Happy to do it.
Greg, you want to do it?
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, and we are pleased to have a very special guest today. If some of you were expecting Mike Vanderpool from Pennsylvania, we had to switch schedules. Kathy was supposed to be on next week. She offered to come on today. Mike had something come up, so stay tuned for him next week. We are super excited to have Kathy Byrnes here. She is a veteran realtor here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. She's been in the industry for over 13 years. Top producer. I think she's going to be a great interview because she has been in the industry, and when you're in the industry in the past, it's very common to go to a couple of different brokerages and brokerage models because of how the industry changes and the models that appear. And so she has been at a couple of different ones. I'm going to let her elaborate on that and let her talk about her experience after joining eXP, I believe, about 14 months ago.
Yes.
So welcome, Kathy Byrnes.
Hi. Yes, I got in 2005. I had done financial planning for 23 years. So, and when I moved to North Carolina, I was looking for a new career. I didn't want to do that anymore. And so I decided to get into real estate. My family had been in real estate for years. And so that's what I did. And I decided I would go to Coldwell Banker because I love the colors of their logo. I'm a color-driven. And they wanted me. They said, yes, we want you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I joined them and good company, but I wasn't getting the training. I really wanted to step up my game. And I heard Remax was where all the top level go. So I thought if I surround myself with higher producing people, quality people, then I could learn basically from them. And I did. I really got a business partner there, which was great. And I learned how to do listings really well and go with the flow of the market, because in 2008 and 9, the market just basically crashed and we had to reinvent ourselves and become short sale experts. And that's how I not only survived, but thrived through those tough times and built that. Then we realized that we didn't really need our company so much to give us all that cost that we were spending every month. So we went to a smaller firm, Cell State, and great company. And they offered a program something like our rev share on a smaller scale. And I liked that. Their expenses were less. And then I ended up, my partnership kind of split up, which was all fine. And I ended up coming over to Keller Williams as a single agent, which was a whole new venture for me. Got sat by you guys, which I loved, and kind of just hung around with you two, and eventually joined your team. And I had thought I'd already checked out all the different companies. So when a couple weeks later you said we were going to eXP, I'm like, okay, I'm going.
Surprise.
So yeah, thanks for coming.
And I didn't even check it out.
On that note, Kathy, Shelly always says, it's like, and she even said it about eXP when I said you should look at this company. I watched a webinar and I said you should look at this. Explain, she always says, if all these different brokerage models are like shuffling the deck. It's like, yeah, we're going to give you more of this and take some of that away, and it's like it's
going to cost you less, but then you get less. And,
yeah,
and those types of things. So that was kind of I thought, well, it could just possibly be good.
Yeah. So explain having that experience with all these, the other brokerages over a 13-year span. How this one really excited you and how it stands out amongst the others. What's your story?
So when we went over, again, I just followed you because I figured you checked it out. I really didn't expect anything to be much different than any other company. And I just went because you were going. I'm now on the team. I like being on the team. It was easier than running my own show. You guys rocked in the marketing, but my background in estate planning and stocks, I was intrigued with the stocks. So I kind of did some research on eXP and really dove into the fact that this was a growing company. It was an over-the-counter stock at the time, and I was thinking, boy, this has potential. If this company does take off, boy, I'd like to be participating in this. And when they offered that 5% of my own commission going into this stock at a 20% discount, I said, well, I am jumping on board on that because I am a lousy saver. And if it just put my 5% away and maybe it didn't grow that much, I'd still have that, which I wouldn't have had. And it was very exciting because it's done very well. So I'm elated. But, and then the rev share. For me, the rev share, I got it because it was like network marketing. And I had done network marketing for years. I got the different levels. I got talking to people. But the difference between this and network marketing was a real product that we were all selling. I didn't have to convince somebody for skincare or vitamins. We're all selling real estate, and yet I can get paid on multiple people by introducing it. You bet I got passionate about that. I was very passionate.
Which is what we do.
Still am.
Which is what we do anyways. When we were at other companies, we would introduce people to our company, and this was way different. So, I mean, we just get an opportunity to get paid on it, which was cool.
I always kind of, look at it as, every business has revenue. And, every one of these other companies, whether it's Remax or Keller Williams or Caldwell Banker, it doesn't really matter. They all have revenue. And the revenue is either going to go to a franchise owner, or it is going to go to the people that are helping build the company. In eXP, that's the way that works. So it's distribution of revenue.
Right.
Do you want to give it to your franchise owner, or do you want to give it to the agents building it?
Right.
I like it coming to me. So, well, the other thing was, I got in this business when I was 55. So I saw myself thinking I could just build this business up and eventually, be able to stop at some point. And the reality was, and the longer I was in it, the more I realized, holy cow, I'm going to be putting signs in the yards when I'm 80. And in last January, I got hurt. And I was thinking, holy cow, what will I do to survive? Because as I mentioned, I'm not a great saver. So there was no real good planning. So this has just changed everything, because the average agent isn't as old necessarily as me, although there's plenty of them because they're still in the boat that I was seeing where I was going. But they're saying this is a second career, even a third career, and they're thinking that this is going to be the end all. And if they're not with eXP, it isn't the end all. They have hope with eXP.
So at an exit plan, and that's what most realtors do not have, 99.9, unless they're very disciplined, or their spouse has some kind of other kind of exit plan in place for the family or for them both. It's very rare, because we all know this industry is very up and down. When things are good, you might have the discipline to put stuff away, but when things are bad, you've got to pull from that, and before you know it, you have very little. So this was a way, that we all saw, to have an exit plan with doing something that we're already doing.
I think an important point to make is there's a lot of people that I heard something said yesterday, and I had to laugh about it. Someone said, I'm so sick of hearing how many eXP agents are so happy. And the comeback was, I'm not hearing that about your company. And I thought that was great. But the same guy said the same thing or something else today. And he goes, you could be at Remax or Keller or wherever. And if you're not producing, you aren't necessarily going to be a producer over here at eXP. You have many more opportunities at eXP with so much collaboration, so much training, the rev share, the stock. You have opportunity, but you still have to do the business, because it is about selling real estate.
That's a great point.
Yep.
We have to sell real estate, and if you're not going to be, it's like Brennan Gove said the other day. He said, if you're happy here, you're going to be happy there. You're not going to, it's not about that. It's about opportunity, taking what you're doing and maximizing it to the highest level. So,
absolutely.
If you're happy at this, at one house, or you move to another house, you're still going to be happy. If you're unhappy, you move to another house, you're still going to be unhappy. So it's all our responsibility.
So I heard you talk about education and collaboration a little bit. Let's start with collaboration, Kathy. Since coming to this company here at eXP Realty, talk to us about collaboration. I know a common thing that we hear from people at other brokerages that are kind of that are looking at eXp, they often say, well, there's, how am I going to interact with people? I don't want to be on an island. I like being around people and collaborating and coming up with ideas and helping each other with business. What's your experience been with that?
Well, one of the coolest tools that eXp has is Workplace. So Workplace, as you guys know, is a division of Facebook, but it's all geared toward eXp. Now, other companies may have that, I don't know, but this is all eXp employees basically having their own private little personal Facebook, and it's called Workplace. And within that, with all these individual groups of like eXp Realty just giving you the press releases, eXp where there's a whole group that's about social media. There's one that's all on just North Carolina updates on what's happening in the state, and the same thing with all these other states. So you pick and choose the groups that you want to learn from, grow from, participate in, and so that collaboration in itself is amazing, and you can do that on your cell phone. Another component here is the time management of being able to be more time efficient. So for me within Workplace, then I learned so many things, and it's agents sharing tips of this or that, and somebody putting up, hey, I don't know how to do this, and about 15 people jump in and say, this is how I do it, and you can extrapolate anything you want from that, because not everybody will do it the same way, but right. you get so much, so you're so far from an island. Now you can be in your own office like I am right here in my home office and do this, and you don't feel alone because you're learning and growing. Or you can go in the cloud, right into the cloud campus. You can cross talk to people that are standing right next to you, then waiting in line or in a class before the class starts, and say, hey, Joe, what are you in here for? Where are you from? Tell me about you. And you can have relationships in there. The other thing that I love about the cloud is we have all these different departments because it truly is a giant office. It's just in the cloud. If I have an issue like with a commission issue or a question on a stock, or I've got all kinds of things, I can go in the cloud. And another really exciting thing is if I was having issues with my computer that's not related to even to eXp, I can go in the technical part and say, hey, I'm having problems, and they'll come right in and they'll figure out what's going on with my computer and help me fix it. Where am I getting that? Right. That's awesome.
And they just keep improving it. They're so geared at helping us be effective. They just keep improving it and adding more value, and it's getting better and better every day. It's incredible.
How about a monthly or weekly conference where they want to give us all the updates of what's going on in North Carolina, and we all go hop in there, and there's 800 people in there, and we can be sitting in our jammies or whatever from our house or on our phone while we're out in the car and just Bluetoothing it. So from an app, it's so time effective. Oh, love it.
So something that really stuck out to me was, when we were at our last company, we would go to national events, and, the gold in those national events, the stuff on stage is great. You learn some stuff, you get fired up. But the real gold is in the meetings of people that you meet from around the country, whether it's having a cocktail after, or it's, going out to dinner and masterminding and sharing ideas. That's where the magic happens. And that happens every day in this company because of things like Workplace and the campus. It's not sitting at a picnic table next to the lake, which sounds funny. And one's from Texas and one's from Minnesota, and they're masterminding how they're to help each other in business. That never happens. At other companies, you get excited to go to these national events. It lasts 2 days. You come back, you're fired up.
And then there's nothing.
So this is like the national event comes to you every day. It's like, and by the way, there's 2 major national events with eXp
as well.
Annual.
It just continues on. It's like
there's summits.
It's like they do these great events, and then there's people you meet, you see in the cloud. You're doing stuff with them all the time. We have more relationships now than ever before.
Oh yeah.
I
can't believe it. And with top people, amazing talent.
How funny was it? I remember, Kathy, I think we were at, when we were in Florida last year, you see all these people seeing each other in person for the first time, and they know each other because they they see each other on the campus like every day, and they're like hugging, and they're like, oh my God, it's you. And like, they already know each other because they meet each other. I mean, I remember us laughing about that.
And when you do get to know each other there, you know, I think, you know, now you connect with their avatar, you probably follow them on Facebook and you're connecting more. And then you can follow them also in workplace, because they're not separate. I can follow them in workplace and say, hey, work chat with them, which is just like instant messenger. And I do tons of stuff on that chat within workplace with so many people. And I started a group myself in there because I wanted one avenue of what I'm doing with how I'm doing building relationships. I wanted to build a group that was talking to other people that were doing the same thing so that I could learn from them, they could learn from me. So the collaboration is unprecedented.
For us to take charge of our own, so they're giving education, but then we also have the opportunity to share information that we know and then build a group like that. So it's not like, oh, that'd be nice to do. It's like set up to do that. You know,
It's set up to do that.
Yeah.
No one's shutting me down because I've been shut down for trying to share information at different companies. I'm like, what? Shouldn't we help each other? But I've been shut down many companies. So I like it that I get to do that.
Well, what we found at other companies is, you know, the only people that are sharing is, you know, they're sharing the basics because they're sharing the people that are just coming into the company and they're new agents, and you're an experienced agent. So they say, hey, can you teach a class? So you're teaching a class to, you know, less experienced agents, and that's great for them. But you're not, when you get to a certain level, there's a sense of, well, I'm not telling you anything. But now we're one, as you know, with the campus and the, you know, the Facebook workplace, there's so much opportunity to do that.
And there's so much opportunity for everybody. If we're all getting stock and we're all getting all these things, I mean, we want everyone to do amazing because we want our company to do amazing, and it feels totally different. It's hard to even explain that to agents.
Talk a little bit more about education. You know, that's another thing that people say, well, you know, in my office, we have classes, we have a schedule. Talk a bit about, I know you're big on education. Talk to us outside of the sharing, you know, the scheduled stuff.
For me, one of the last company I was at, you know, they even asked me if I wanted to be a coach and mentor over there. And well, not even mentor, coach. And I considered it, but one of the things that was distracting to me was it was old information and it wasn't current and it wasn't what I wanted to teach. So what I love here is that there's such a variety of information here, from as simple as how to farm a neighborhood, how to do your social media. Here's examples. Here's listing kits of how you do a listing presentation, where major players are downloading all their stuff for free. And so not only new agents, but agents that have been in 4 or 5 years, maybe they're doing 4 or 5 million a year and they want to step up their game, or agents that are doing 10 or 20 million want to step up their game. If you're an entrepreneur spirited, which I believe you almost need to be in this business, you need to be educating yourself on a regular basis. To be able to go get your education in your jammies on TV, and watch it on your computer or listen to it on your phone while you're driving here and there. That is freedom. One thing, it's free. I mean, the cost of all of this is so minimal every month, what your monthly fee is to work here. It's ridiculous. And the level of expertise is current and it's top notch. Current and top notch.
There's so time is your most valuable asset. So to be able to do things when it's on your time and, you know, on your schedule, I think is so important. You know, you always how many times have we like, oh, I want to go to that seminar or I want to go to that class, and it's like it comes up and it's like you're going to be 20 minutes late, so why even bother going? But you can hop right in, and then even on top of that, all of the stuff here is archived, so you can watch it on your time.
There's so much. In the beginning, some agents will feel overwhelmed because it's like, holy cow, there's so much here. And I get that. I had an agent I reached out to this morning who is in my organization of people that have been introduced to it, and they've introduced. So she's down in Greenville, South Carolina. And I reached out and said, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And I said, we do these trainings here at our office, which are live on Thursdays. I didn't realize how far away she was at the time. And she said, I'm overwhelmed because there's just so much to pick from. And she goes, give me some time. And I said, I get that. We will give you all the time you need, but I want you to know, here's my cell number. Reach out and let me help you. And I never met her before, and she's in another state. And that's not happening in other companies. That's just not happening. It's not just because Kathy's this great person. This is how this is how it is here. We collaborate with each other because if you do good, I do good. So the whole agenda is to help you be successful because we all are successful. That's my license plate's empowered. I just eat this thing up. I can't tell you.
Well, in addition, I know because you're a part of it also, Kathy, we do a full calendar of classes here locally.
Right.
I know that's also happening in Maryland, that's happening in Florida, that's happening in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, everybody's just taking this and kind of owning it and teaching real life, real stuff. We all teach stuff that we learned and that they could walk out of here. It doesn't matter who you are, and you can put it into place and execute it and make your business better.
And on that note, we're inviting agents that aren't just eXP agents to ours, and I'm sure they're not as well. And because we want to let other agents see that are at other companies that we are doing this, there is that kind of a collaboration. And so we welcome them to come learn because that's the mindset of what eXP is all about. And hopefully they'll say, hey, I think I should be over there. That's right.
And we don't really even talk about eXP.
No, we don't.
The education stuff, because it's not, we don't want people to feel like they're being smothered,
or tricked.
Just for them to see the environment and see the opportunity.
Help them grow.
Right. Let them grow. One thing I wanted to touch on, now I am on your team. Yeah. So not everybody is an individual agent. Some people are on teams, and some people say, well, shoot, you're paying the splits to the team, you're paying the splits to eXP, and then, how does that even work? Again, on our team, I personally love it because you guys do so much for the splits. There's marketing. I think what happened on our team is that you were able to save money on how you were doing things, that you were able to offer even more because we have a closing coordinator. I do pay that fee for that, which is fine. I'm glad to even have her in-house to be able to do that. And she does it for the whole team. And then we have somebody that helps with the listings. So that helps me a lot. You pay for our signs. You do all those different things on our team. Not every team chooses to go that way. But the way I look at it is you take the headache off my back and I can just go do what I do best, which for me is primarily listings. And I can focus on that. I can get my time to go get educated even better. And I can teach people, and it frees me up. So for me, being on a team, my agenda is to quick get to that split. And also, you pay a half cap. I don't have to go the full amount if I'm on my own. So it's a half cap, and I can get there quicker. So I make it up in that perspective, and also by talking to other agents and building my rev share and my stock. It's just easier because I can collaborate with my fellow agents in the office. I think being on a team in eXP is a wonderful thing, personally. I don't really make less in my mind because I have more time to do more things. So I think being on a team is a good thing.
Yeah, I would say, the splits and, how different teams do splits is what the team is giving them. And some more, some give less. And it's the idea, like you said, Kathy, is to leverage the agent as much as we possibly can so that they'll get more volume, they'll make more money, and then everybody wins. You're not doing stuff that you hate doing.
It helps us be able to bring people in, like a marketing director and somebody who can put that agent on a pedestal in front of their clients, which they deserve. We work hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Kathy, you also mentioned, just for the people that may not be with eXP watching this, a half cap is $8,000 at eXP, and a full cap is $16,000 if you're a team lead or a single agent. Right. Now, I kind of lost my train of thought, but
some companies don't even have caps. Some just have, where they are 100% and they pay fees. was interesting to me because I talked to one agent who came over to eXP on my organization, and he had done something like a really low volume of gross. It was like, I think it was like 3.5 million, but he'd done 29 transactions. And I said, holy cow, first of all, you have no life right now, buddy. And I know that you're struggling because you're really not making that much, even though you're getting you're paying he was paying 7% total, which never would change. So he was paying 7%, but he was paying $515 per transaction. I said, let's just do a little spreadsheet on the difference here. I said, if you did the same thing and you were at eXP and you had the full $16,000 that you had to pay, I can show you would have made $5,000 more. But more importantly than even that, because $5,000 isn't necessarily worth moving for, I said, I can teach you how to have a business where you can have a life and you can have stock, and there's so much more that you can have. And when he saw all those pieces, then he moved. Yeah. And now his wife sent me an email recently and said, I can't thank you enough for convincing my husband to come over because you gave my husband back to me.
Oh,
that's priceless.
Yeah, it is
right?
priceless.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's where I was going to go with, a lot of companies have, they have royalties. So they have regional and territories, and they have royalties. So some might say, oh, we're a 90-10 and I only have to pay 10%, but they leave out the 6% royalty that they're paying forever. So the more successful that agent becomes, the more money they're paying to that.
Yes. And if it was just the caps, you could say, maybe it's close. If it was just that, maybe it's close, and you say, well, I'm not going to move for that, because change is tough. All these agents struggle with the change because it does affect their business. To move over is frustrating, and it's change, and it's learning a new curve. But the reality is, if it was just that, maybe it's not worth it. But it's not just that. It is all these things. It is the stock. It is the rev share. It is the collaboration. It is the education. It is about changing people's lives. And that's what this company is doing. It's such a dramatic thing. You'll hear over and over, because I like to interview the people whenever we go to these different events. I'll sit them down and I ask them 4 questions. First, what company were you with before? How did someone even get you to listen to them? Because most people have their door closed talking to eXP. How did they even get you to listen? And then once you did, what's your favorite thing? And then what would you say to someone who was in your company, just like you, that was resistant to them? And the stories, even you would think those 4 questions would bring similar answers all the time, but the answers are different why people come over all the time. And it's so intriguing. And 2 common phrases I hear all the time are, it was a no-brainer for me, which I love when I hear that, because then I got an entrepreneur mindset and an open thinker. And the other one is changed my life. And that is exciting. And it changed the people that I brought over's life. So when you can feel that you changed somebody else's life, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
For the good.
And there's a big wall up there. So this is the fastest growing real estate brokerage model in the world, I would say. Mm-hmm. And, these companies are threatened by it. It doesn't matter how big they are. This is a small 14,000 agent company growing by 1,000+ agents a month.
Which is monstrous.
And they're threatened by that. Mm-hmm. So you're hearing a lot of false information put out there, which is really unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And then that's causing agents that can really benefit from it for their families and their careers not to even look at it. And they put up this wall and they say, no, that's this and that's that. It's unsustainable and it's a scam and whatever you want to say, but that's someone else telling them that. And it's really unfortunate that they're missing the boat because they're not willing to come forward and learn about it themselves.
It's such an opportunity. And when people, with the agents coming in, we have 1,000 coming in. That's a lot of agents to a small company coming in. So people they may be hearing that at their office and not want to peek behind the curtain and see what's really there, but they take the time to understand it. They'll see it and they see the opportunity. And people are telling me now, like 6 months ago, they might have said, well, I don't know, I'm not really ready for a move. Talking to me now, and they're saying, I wish I would have made this move a year ago. Yeah. That's every day we hear, I wished I had done this last year when you talked to me about it, or when I called you and asked you about it. Because we really didn't call anybody. People called us, And then as that resulted in over 500 agents coming here locally, which is just peeking the door open. We're still so much growth right here in North Carolina and Charlotte. This company will be at 25,000 agents by the end of the year. That's the prediction. So,
Yes.
I mean, next year we'll be at 40 and 50. And then, I mean, just don't be the person. My thing is, like, open the door, look at it, understand what it is. And if it doesn't work for you, no problem.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if it does work for you, I mean, we want to help you grow. And we want you to grow in your real estate business. We want you to grow in your opportunity with rev share. And we want you to take opportunity with the stock. That's why we teach so much. And that's why we enjoy being with the company. It gives us a whole nother avenue and energy. We get energy from each other.
We do. I love it.
I believe a less than 1% rate of people that leave this company,
Yep.
and over 1,000 come aboard per month. And so if people were not helping people and we were not producing and it wasn't working, it wouldn't be what it is, and it wouldn't be growing and continue to grow as fast as it is. So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an agent in Charlotte who I first met and was first doing my interview with, and she said I was in two centers with Keller, and she said I was paying the cap there in Charlotte and one in New York, and she worked both businesses. She had both those territories. So for her, it was just the cap that she moved over, and she goes, I went from 50,000 down to 16. That was a no-brainer for me. Again, that no-brainer word. And so she came over. Yeah. And then she said, then when I discovered the stock and the rev share, and she's a teacher by heart, she shares so much. And she took all that on. She goes, holy cow, this is it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I found my home. I found my home. Because real estate you can get burnt out on, and this has recharged all of us that have been burnt out. Recharged us like crazy.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, because I would tell people I hate real estate for the longest time because I felt so burnt out. But now it's like, oh, baby, I love it.
So, Kathy, if someone wanted to learn more about eXP that might be watching this, and they're not with the company and they wanted to contact you, how could they contact you?
Please feel free to call me on my cell because I'll take that call 24/7. And my phone number is 704-881-3930. And that's one way. I'm on the LePage Johnson team, so it's Kathy.LePageJohnson@gmail if they want to email me. But a phone call is fine, a text is fine. Great. And I would love to help you. There's no pressure on my end. I'm not begging people to come in. I'm just going to help you find your own way.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks.
Final words?
Just have an open mind. Don't be scared, people.
Very good words. Well, thank you so much, Kathy Byrnes, Charlotte area real estate broker, experienced veteran. We're so excited to have her on the show today, and thank you for coming on.
Thanks for bringing me to eXP.
We love you.
Bye, guys.
See you, Kathy.
Bye.
Just hit the mouse that says end broadcast. You can't hit the screen.
Oh. Not touch screen.
My fault, people.